I mean, it didn't sound like there was any major clarity out of that. Okay, so pre-market levels. Oh, let me go SPX. Okay, so I've got two big levels here. I mean, 65 is a possibility. What I certainly don't see pre-market is heavy flows to the downside. Okay. So, again, if I'm just going to assume the market's going to have a down day, it's like there's not really any pre-market liquidity or gamma to show that. So, I mean, if we come down to like 64.20, take a screenshot here. Okay, I'm just going to do one thing really quickly. Okay. So I look at this pre-market and these flows can change in real time. Obviously, when in 10 minutes we can change quickly. Um, but are we going to get to 65 today? It's like starting at 64.50, raising 50 points. I mean, market makers don't have that type of move. Go to the 18th, looking at maybe a plus minus on the SPY of like 20 to 30 points. So today we got a 31 point move on the SPX. That's what market makers are anticipating. Um, Ivy rank still quite low, 11.9. We've seen it down into single digits when it's a super low volatility. We've seen it up during the fall in April. I mean, when things got really nasty during Liberation Day, this thing was like Ivy rank of like 65 or 70. Scary time, but an incredible time to be selling out of the money premium. So anyway, plus minus 30 points on the day, which means if I'm looking to open up right around 64.40 or so, for me to get the premium that I really want, it's going to force me to kind of sell like a 64.70, 64.80. I think I'm going to start here. It might not be like the greatest credit right away, but if I can get like an 80 and 90, it should be out of the money enough that between maybe this 50 zone and this 64.30, that price just kind of chops around here for a Monday, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay, Jason, that's up to you. How does it have less fees? If you're trading an option contract, it's pretty much the same for me. It's 60 cents for me. Doesn't matter if I'm trading SPX. I guess I have the index fee on top of that versus SPY, but I get way less credit on the SPY than I do SPX. In SPX, I can let it go for the day and have it cash settle. So if you trade SPX, you also get a little tax break with trader status. Everything's automatically split 60/40. Yep. So if you trade indexes, you get the tax benefit versus SPY because that's treated like a stock. But trade what you want. Okay. So VIX is definitely elevated. Um, Game plan for me, two things. So today, daily profit play, I'm probably looking to take a stab at this like 80 to 90 zone, which I wish it was above the, highest gamma level here at 65, but I will kind of fade into that ceiling. Hopefully we get it. Or what would be best is if we're able to sell up here, collect some decent premium, that price just kind of oscillates, maybe moves down to 64.30 or lower. If we have a bit of a sideways day or down day, time helps, and we'll see if we can kind of fall a little bit. I mean, realistically, for a Monday, if we don't have anything that rattles the market, we're probably just going to stay here. I mean, I don't know why we'd open up on a Monday and the market's just going to come right out of the gate swinging. It's like, it probably won't. The market will probably just be choppy for the day. There's no major news today, right? What's highly anticipated? I mean, Jackson Hole. Okay, so it's going to be Thursday, Friday. Maybe the markets do something silly on Thursday, Friday, little pre-market, little post-market, but things I would imagine would be relatively calm. Big earnings next week with Nvidia, and then ending the month with PCE for the U.S. So if anything, I would imagine things are going to be relatively tight price action today. So that shouldn't be terribly difficult. Minimum premium, it depends. I mean, if I'm going to go 10 wide, minimum's like a dollar. If I'm gonna do a bear call spread for 10 wide and risk like $9, then it's like at least give me a dollar. So if I could do, 10 wide on two credit spreads today, I'd like to at least get $1.50 to $2. I'd like to get more than that. Um, but yeah, at least trying to make a buck if I can. Zelensky Trump meet, I don't know. I mean, they're not on the calendar. It's like I don't even know how we're supposed to track that, right? So Zelensky can end war immediately. I mean, this is 11 hours ago. It's like, is this why we have heightened volatility? Um, maybe, you know. Is the market going to rip on positive like, oh, are we gonna solve the war today on a Monday? So it's like I don't I don't think about stuff like that when it comes to trading. All that's going to do is make you stay out, right? Which is fine. You can stay out and not worry about it. But if they don't come to a resolution today, is it tomorrow? Is it the next day? Is it the next day? I mean, I'm just going to trade. It's like if anything, market makers and the markets are way more sophisticated than just a news event. Very rarely does news catch the market off guard. When it does, the market reacts, and sometimes it reacts crazy, but then the resiliency and the efficiencies kick right back in. Case in point, look at Liberation Day this year. The markets had a horrible reaction. Markets were down like, 15% for 1 month, but then they fought all the way back and got back to a negative 1% to close out April. And they've been going up ever since. So just like sometimes the markets just do dumb things and it's irrational, doesn't make any sense. You can't really prepare for it outside of manage risk. If you can manage risk, the outlier stuff doesn't really happen that much. Because here's an example. I'm going to be talking about something in the next 35 minutes at the top of the hour that I will take into a classroom, into a masterclass series workshop this week for my waterfall income. That basically I'm looking at for right now I'm looking at like a pretty simple buffer to give myself every single week about a 15% buffer on price. So the market at any given time could fall like 15% before I take on any real risk. Okay. So, if that sounds like a peace of mind way to trade where I still have defined risk, so it can't get worse than what I already risk in the trade. I give myself 15% at all times where the market just has like a constant buffer where it just like stay sideways, go down a little bit, go up a little bit. And what is the general drift? Up, 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 up. Right? I mean, if we are not going into a deep, nasty, full recession, which I don't think we will be. I think it's going to be maybe rolling, or certain sectors feel it more than others, or rotations will feel it more than others. Everything is so rooted and hyped in AI right now that tech is essentially leading everything. You know, I mean, what does concern me is if the consumer is actually pulling back a little bit, then yeah, we could have like a Main Street recession where people feel it. People are scaling back, people are spending less, right? But meanwhile, we have tech stocks leading the S&P, and we're still at 10+% for the markets right now after a crazy year so far. But you just keep grinding. And 50% of the time, like recessions that we're being told there's a recession, the markets can go higher. So a recession doesn't mean really anything. And inverted yield curve apparently doesn't mean anything right now either. It's like all these things, wall of worry. I'm telling you, risk management. That's all we can do. We can show up and trade. So what happens today? If we lose, we take it in stride. We come back and trade tomorrow. Last week I lost on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, finished the week positive. You grind. So if I could take a trade like every week that allows me to have like a big buffer, I do that. I do that. It's actually, we're going to do it today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, or yeah, just around lunchtime today, 12:30 p.m. So, Margaret, so it's also your call. I was taught to trade the SPX before 10 or not to trade. Is that what you meant? I'm looking at your comment there. I've been taught to trade the SPX before 10 a.m. Do you mean not before? Why don't we look at put spreads in the SPY 6 months out? Because if you go out spread 6 months out and you get a correction in the next 20 to 30 days, those spreads are pointless because you have so much time left in those spreads, you're not going to get the money that you want. Right, David? Like if I did a put spread, 6 months out and price moves in the next 30 days, I'm not going to get nearly the amount of profit that I could. If you're like, I mean, again, the hard part is you're trying to time that correction a little bit better. And again, when I say correction, I'm not talking about some crazy, bear market. I'm talking about like a little 3 to 5% correction. Come back and just give us this market rollover. If the market All right, sorry about that. Some weird flakiness just got cut out. Let me log back into my broker platform. Let's get AV connected again. Okay, so we opened up a little bit lower, 6445. I'm going to look at the 80 to 85 for starters. And my real-time levels did modify a little bit. So my, 50% ATR, if I could sell up here towards like the 85 to 90, I'm going to keep an eye on this. So looking to dive in here for the 18th. VIX value again. VIX is at 15.42. We'll see what's going to happen. Let's go SPX. Am I sharing my screen right now? Type in where yes so you can see my screen. Okay, good. All right, we're back. Okay, so 18th. I'm going to try. Make sure I don't click the wrong expiration. Here we go. So 64, 75, and 80. That's an 11 delta. It's pretty low. I can do the 70 by 75 for some indecision. It's a 17 delta. Get $1.10 for this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab, see if I can get $1.15 out of this for a daily profit play this morning for Monday. $1.05. I at least want $1 on this if I'm going both directions. Come on. Give me a buck. I mean, the mid price is $1.10, man. Come on, Tasty, you're better than that. All right, I'm not taking less than $1 for this thing. I'm going to try to go to $1. So daily profit play, I'm looking to sell the 64.70. I got filled for $1. 64.70 is filled and 64.10 is filled. I'll put this in the alerts. Okay, daily profit play, new trade coming. 818. Stay greater than 64.10 and less than 64.70. That's been posted. And then on this like 80, I'm gonna go 80, 90, 85, 95, and see if this one would get filled for, try this. If I go 80 by 90, this one for $1, and 85 by 95, this one for $1, and I will scale in from there. So that delta right now is like a single digit delta. We shouldn't necessarily be pushing up that high unless the VIX is retreating hard, but it's not yet. So let's see, maybe I can get this one for $1.50 and $1.50. I'll just let these marinate. Okay, so a couple pending orders. I'm in for one trade on daily profit play. Yeah, the plan, so 70 cents is great. I think I'm just going to assess the price action for the day because if I can wait for 65 cents or wait for 60 cents or wait for, you know, ideally I'd like to wait for like 60 or 50 cents to take profit on that move. So right now, based on SPX, I'm in at 70, which is just below these recent highs from last week. So horizontal right here at 70 and here at 10. Okay, so let's see if price can stay inside these levels. And then this 80 and 90, I'll watch to see if I can sell 80 and sell 90. But those have not been filled yet. So I'm going to see if price will at least offer me $1 on this trade. It's trading at 60 cents right now. If this offers me over $1, then I'll probably take it. I think that's a pretty safe $100 today. Okay. And again, like this might not fill, and I'll just kind of hang out with those like pending orders. So the goal is I want to be selling this thing nice and high, but I'm not going to settle for garbage premium. Like if I were to take the trade that I want, which would be sell this thing above 80, 85, um, the other way it's like not to do a zero DT, but like go out and say, look, I don't think the market's going to be too much higher this week. I'm just curious what the market has in store for like the week. Now, if it wasn't Jackson Hole, I'd be more likely to maybe take this trade. But if we go to the end of the week on Friday the 22nd, market's anticipating that the upside move would be around 65.20. That's a 20 delta, 60. I don't know. Part of me wants to sell. There's a big call wall at 6,500. The JP Morgan collar trade, that's kind of what it's referred to. Every quarter, JP Morgan has like a huge call wall and a huge put wall. The call wall this quarter going out to the end of September is 6,500, which means it should be difficult for the markets to sustain a close above 6,500 at this time until that expiration is passed, which is, allowing for this correction to take place, allowing for the markets to be sideways, allowing for some summer chop. Okay, yeah, I'll post those. I'm posting those now, John. Okay, so those are pending. In order for those two pending orders to get filled, we need to see price probably gravitate up towards, I would imagine 64.65 or 64.70, maybe trying to reach this like 50% ATR, which is around 90. I'm still not seeing any real-time liquidity flows to the downside right now, so I think our standard daily profit play is probably pretty good. Probably pretty good, which means if I want to get a little bit more creative, start at my like deltas here and then sprinkle in the middle. So 70.85 is a 16 delta, 20 and so like I get 250 on this trade right here. If we stay sideways, I think this will be pretty good. Let me see if I get two, let me sprinkle this in. So 250 on that one. Try 245. So this is a separate account. Let's see if I can get filled. All right, I just posted another trade, went 15 wide. SPX, a new trade, different account. I did this 64.70 call. I went 15 wide. Okay, if I sprinkle in 75 by 90, 15 by there, get another dollar 65 hopefully out of this one. All right, so I've got another couple of trades running. So I'm going to stagger in a little bit higher out of the money trades. This one is a 75, 64, 90, 64.15, and 6,400 for $1.65. Okay, so overall, 20, 15, and 10. I'm just going to label these levels here. So 20, 15, and 10, 70 and 75. So for a Monday, here's what I'm here's what I'm relying on. Hopefully prices for Monday will just kind of dance around and go sideways. Uh, VIX, we're going to see if this 64.30 to 64.50 zone This low will hold. If it does, that's good. If we hold at the sticky point at this positive negative gamma flip, 64.30 just kind of stay choppy for a Monday. Okay. So I'm going to organize these trades. This one has two positions. So I've got these running on two separate accounts. If you just took the first trade with me in daily prop play, that's fine. That was one for $1.05 credit. This one is the 75 and 90. So 75 and 90 that pairs with the 15 and the 0. Oops. So this is one. This is another. All right. So I got those two trades running. And then this trade running as well. So this one's in for $1. It's already up 10 bucks. This one I just took, so I need a little bit of time decay, but in for $1.65, in for 2.45. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick to the mechanics here. This one I'm going to try to get a little bit more profit. So I'm in for $1. I'm going to put in a close at 55 cents. And I'll try 50. I'm going to try 50 cents. And then this one over here for $1.65 and 2.45. Let's do the math. So I'll go 175, close at 175. And for the 165, be a 120. Okay. So I'm just going to post this in the alerts DPB summary. Total of 3. I have one for $1.05 credit, $1.65 credit, and 240, 445, 245 credit. Yep. Okay. All right. So trades are in, and now we just need price to stay relatively choppy and time decay to work in our favor. All right, let's see if there's anything on this Ukraine meeting. Federal Reserve centric week because of minutes. We've got Jackson Hole on Thursday, Friday over the weekend. Minutes release on Wednesday. So we are seeing a shift in the futures market with the Fed Watch tool inside the Fed's September meeting. Trump is set to meet with Zelensky, European leaders in Washington. Monday's leaders followed Trump's summit Friday. Yeah, I mean they met in Alaska. So this week we got Lowe's, Target, Walmart retailers. That'll be interesting to see what the kind of state of consumer is. Any forward guidance out of those big retailers will be interesting to just keep up with this week. So Lowe's, Target, Walmart, assuming those have earnings this week. Yields down, dollar strengthens. Let's take a quick peek at that. Currency strength today. Yen a little bit weaker. Still not a ton of volatility. CAD, New Zealand. New Zealand looking to cut rates this week. Palo Alto has earnings. All right, I'm just going to write some of these down for this will be for newsbreakers potentially. Palo Alto, take a look at that one. Home Depot, Toll Brothers. It's a builder. This one's a pretty big list on Thursday. Target, Estee Lauder's had a lot of volatility these last couple of earnings prints. Baidu, watching that one, I've got some exposure in that one with some own shares. I know that Bridgewater exited Baidu positions last week, from what I saw, but that was probably 45 days ago. What else? Lowe's. So Home Depot, Lowe's had earnings. I'm looking for Walmart. Maybe Walmart's on Friday. Am I missing something here? Ah, okay. So Walmart. All right, that's kind of my list of notable. Zoom, maybe not bad either. Maybe. Workday and Ross. All right, so little list. I'll price out some earnings this week for newsbreakers. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stocks. Check on the earnings sensitivity there. I mean, Sean, you're watching me do it in real time, man. I mean, the nice thing about when I'm in my broker platform here, I mean, I will kind of walk through the deltas, right? So I started out on this position with a 70 and 75 and a 64.10 by '05. You know, that delta started off around like 16. Is like a 15, 16 delta, which is pretty standard. And I'm not getting like amazingly better fills. I mean, typically the way I take the trade, some of you can get 5 or 10 cents better than I can on a trade like that. The trade I did sprinkle in here is the 70 by 85 and 75 by 90. If I want to sprinkle in a third one, I'd go 80 by 95. I just want to see a price to cooperate. So this one here, it's like we're getting some low deltas on these trades, like another dollar. It's like, okay, so maybe another 30 cents, 40 cents profit, but I'm going to hold off and just do the two. So in total today for Monday, I just want to see if price will do this. Stay stay in between a couple of key levels here. You know, kind of hold this floor around 64.40. Maybe if it pokes the lows at 64.30, that's that positive negative gamma flip. So if we poke there, but then we stay between 30 and 50, 30 and 50. That's all I really need to see price do for a Monday. Okay, but it's all good, man. If anything, just soak it in, soak in the process. I mean, I'd still like to get filled at like the 80 by, the 80 by 90, 85 by 95. I'd still like to sell those highs if I can. So those are still pending orders. So right now, just doing a quick spot check. Standard is up around 17%. We've had a little bit more time in this trade here that I just initiated. This one's up about 5 and 7% respectively. So a little bit more time could be helpful there. And hopefully we're just going to knock out some 25 and 30% winners. Okay, I'll still let price kind of marinate for the day. If it's going to fail off those highs, I still want to sell it nice and high. So the dollar credit, $1.50 credit, not even close to getting filled right now. So like selling this 64.80, not even close. 64.85, not even close. It's only offering like 20 to 30 cents credit. I won't take less than a dollar on those trades. Okay, housing debt at 10, not really. Look, a lot of the new stuff is calculated out in the options market. Options market, like all the news you see, even for an FOMC or non-farm payroll, all these big news events, they're priced into the options market. Rarely does the market get like super surprised in a single day. That's like the beautiful thing about zero DT is it's created this amazing stabilization to the markets where when the market does react poorly to one day, usually it's like late in that day or the next day, the market's just buying dips. It's like traders have been conditioned to do that. Now, obviously, if we see a bit more of a correction, we could have a couple down days in a row, which is why for the last several weeks, all I've been focusing on is trying to sell premium as high as I possibly can because I do think the market will correct. To what degree? A little pullback towards this 50-day moving average, a little pullback towards some of these dynamic support levels, a little pullback towards recent all-time highs. That's kind of it, you know? So, for example, I'm about to start talking about something that, you know, it's a really simple strategy. We do it every single Monday. The trade I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to give ourselves a trade where every week we have defined risk, we have high probability of profit, and we have about a 10 to 15% buffer for price to fall before we have risk. Okay. And if anybody's in my waterfall income service, we've done this for almost a year and we have won over 93% of our trades. Okay. We've got a lot of good income to show for it. It's been rock solid and rock steady. This is one of my favorite low maintenance campaign trades that I do every single week. So in fact, I just posted one last week. I'm going to do one again today. We have a class at 12:30. So this is waterfall income. Okay. And I'm going to do a class today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a live class today. And then this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will do a master class 3-day workshop. So if you'd like to jump into my waterfall income and go through this workshop series with me, take the live session today at 12:30. It's a good time to do it. Yep. So it's very low maintenance. It's one of my, as far as like the way I'm managing some capital, one of my easiest strategies to deploy. I do it every week. So if you come with me to class this week, understand all the nooks and crannies of this trade, you'll see why I take the trades that I do, why we're winning 93% of our trades. And I say 93% because last year when the market dumped during December, this would have been December's FOMC, the market dropped aggressively and we didn't quite get back to, well, I take that back. We actually did get back to a break even or better. But when this market was down about 7 or 8% at the top here, we were trading for like, a 3 delta or 2 delta. So I saved us, 50 cents of risk and price ended up coming back later. And, we took a small loss on that trade. Through this entire drop from peak to trough of 20+%, S&P was down 20%, NASDAQ down 25%. We lost on one trade. We took a trade every single week for, the first 4 months of trading. We lost one trade. Okay. We lost one trade and it's like all the gains we've had thus far, we absorb that loss and we just trade through it. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Okay. So again, I'll just repeat this and I'm going to start talking about this in just a second. Uh, Today at 12:30 p.m., we'll have a live class like we do every Monday. I've had to adjust this because usually at the now that we do profit panel, I'm live with the group. It should be trying to think today it's going to be Jeff and Alex that I'm with. So at 11 a.m. today, I'll be live in the profit panel, but 12:30 p.m. will be a class for waterfall income. That's going to be our live trading session. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Let's put those at 1:30. Okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, 1:30 p.m. And I'll run those right up into my final hour session at 3 p.m. Okay, so I'll do 1:30. Yep, I'll do 1:30 today or this week. Okay, all right. So while we let price kind of do its thing for the morning, I've got everything kind of risk defined. Um, this trades up 27%. That's good. This trade is up about 9%. This trade's up about 13%. So I've got my profit targets already set. This one I believe I'm set. Yep. So I've got profit targets set on all these. Good. So profit target's automatically set for daily profit play. That's good. Willard's already out. Nice, man. 30% winner, 10 wide. Excellent. Waterfall will be in the classroom link will be in your waterfall income class for just check the Zoom session. You can just like join masterclass sessions or join the live session today. It should be in your classroom. So if I go to one click trading, go to my classroom, go to waterfall. Okay, so we should be in here for masterclass and trainings, and then click here to join waterfall income class. So today at 12:30, you can join right here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1:30 p.m., you can join right here. So you're just going to join the same link. Okay. I didn't post the debits, Randy, but I posted the take profits. Do the math. So, I mean, I just did post 25, 30%. If you see it in your broker platform, like right now, I'm up. Let's see. Positions. This one's up 28%, 30%. If you want to take the profit, you can take the profit. Right? Like I could get out of here for a 70-cent debit, walk away with 30 cents on the contract. That's fine. It's a 33% winner. Okay. And then the other account that has two trades running, this one's currently up 20%. This one's up 20%. I mean, if I want to take the numbers on the day, I grab 30, 30, and 45. That for the day, 30 and 30 and 45 is still making 105 bucks for today. It's better than a stick in the eye. If you know, I mean, I've got the profit targets. So they're getting closer to my 25 and 30%. This one is up, 17. This one's up 16. The other one's up about 25 to 30. So I'm just going to let time. I mean, look, if time is going to work in our favor and price is going to be relatively tight today for a Monday, and we just hang out and stick around the 64.50, time is our friend. Okay. So hopefully we don't see price, rip too much to the downside. If we do go down to like 64.20, by the way, that's a 100% ATR. Not saying that it can't happen, but it usually will kind of contain things within like that 50, kind of the 50% ATR. So I'm just gonna let it marinate a little bit longer. If you want to take profit, take profit. Okay. I'm seeing profit, and I am seeing profit. So it's not a bad thing. Cool. All right. So let me dive into this. Like I said, today class 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3-day workshop. There's a lot to teach in this class, but it's about risk management and the mechanics of this trade to show why I essentially set this trade up like I set it, forget it every single week. This strategy for me, for